Do you think you know yourself? I mean, really, know yourself. We all believe we have a solid grasp of who we are, where we are, and the reality we occupy. But what if that reality shattered in an instant? What if you saw something so impossible, so fundamentally wrong, that it made you question everything? Imagine looking out your window and seeing yourself standing in the rain, staring back. A reflection without a mirror, a version of you that is most certainly not you. This is the chilling reality of the doppelganger. And tonight, we're going to explore this terrifying phenomenon through the story of a man who came face to face with his own double. Our story begins with a man named Elias. Elias was a creature of habit, a quiet soul who found immense comfort in the predictable rhythm of his life. He wasn't one for grand adventures or bustling social scenes. His joy was found in the simple, solitary pleasures, the weight of a good book in his hands, the aroma of freshly brewed tea, the soft glow of a lamp cutting through the evening darkness. His home was his sanctuary, a fortress of peace against the noisy, chaotic world. Outside, he cherished his nightly routine, a quiet ritual that grounded him and prepared him for a restful sleep. Reading, sipping his tea, listening to the gentle hum of his quiet house was Elias's perfect end to a day. One particular night, the heavens opened up. Rain lashed against the windows, a relentless drumming that seemed to amplify the silence within Elias's home. He was nestled in his favorite armchair, completely absorbed in a book, the world of its pages far more real than the stormy one outside. But a flicker of movement in his peripheral vision, something just beyond the rain-streaked glass, broke his concentration. He slowly lifted his head, his eyes adjusting from the printed words to the dark, wet world beyond his living room. And then he froze. Every muscle in his body went rigid. Standing on the walkway leading to his front door, drenched by the downpour, was a figure. It wasn't moving. It was just standing there, eerily still, illuminated by the faint glow of a distant street lamp. Elias squinted, trying to make sense of the silhouette. The height, the slight slump of the shoulders, the way the head was held, it was all uncannily familiar. The figure was wearing a dark raincoat and trousers, the same kind of clothes Elias himself often wore on rainy evenings when he took out the trash. A cold dread, slick and oily, began to seep into his veins as the impossible truth began to dawn on him. He wasn't just looking at a stranger, he was staring at himself. An ancient, primal instinct screamed at him from the deepest, most primitive part of his brain. Asterisk, do not look away. Asterisk, he felt that if he broke eye contact, if he so much as blinked, something terrible would happen. It was a bizarre, illogical command, yet he obeyed it without question. Sheer, unadulterated fear, the kind our ancestors must have felt when staring down a predator in the dark, washed over him. This wasn't the fear of a burglar or a threat he could understand. This was the terror of the unknown, of a fundamental law of nature being broken right before his eyes. The Doppelgänger, his perfect double, just stood there in the pouring rain, its gaze locked with his through the glass. Elias felt as though he were encased in ice. His limbs were heavy, unresponsive. He tried to move, to stand up, to run, but his body refused to obey. He was a prisoner in his own armchair, a spectator to his own personal horror show. Then the copy, the thing outside, did something that sent a fresh wave of terror through him. It tilted its head, a slow, curious gesture that was so perfectly, so precisely asterisk. His own asterisk mannerism. It was the same inquisitive tilt he used when pondering a difficult passage in a book or listening intently to a piece of music. The sheer mimicry was nauseating. The figure wasn't just a look-alike. It knew him. It knew his movements. The terror intensified. No longer a wave, but a crushing, suffocating pressure. The silent, watching presence was an unbearable violation of his reality. And then the doppelganger smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was a widgy, unnatural stretching of the lips that didn't reach the eyes. It was a predatory grin, a silent, mocking display that seemed to say, "I know you, I see you, and I can be you." As that grotesque smile spread across a face that was his own, Elias felt a strange, terrifying sensation. It was as if the control he had over his own body was slipping away, draining from him like sand through his fingers. He felt a profound sense of displacement, as if his very essence, his Eliasness, was being pulled out of him and absorbed by the entity outside. Just as he felt he might completely lose his grip on reality, the doppelganger turned. With a final, chilling glance over its shoulder, it melted back into the rain-soaked darkness, disappearing as silently and mysteriously as it had appeared. The moment the figure was gone, the spell was broken. Elias collapsed forward in his chair, his breath returning in violent, ragged gasps. He was shaking uncontrollably, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. The world spun around him. Once his breathing evened out, his rational mind desperately tried to regain control, to patch the gaping hole that had just been torn in his reality. It was just exhaustion, he told himself. He'd been working too hard. It was a trick of the light, a reflection on the wet glass, his own imagination running wild, fueled by the storm. He clung to these logical excuses like a drowning man to a piece of driftwood, repeating them over and over again, trying to convince himself that what he had seen wasn't real. His fragile wall of denial came crashing down the next day. He cautiously went about his morning, avoiding his own reflection, but couldn't shake the deep-seated unease. Later, while taking out his trash, he ran into his neighbor, a friendly older woman named Mrs. Gable. "Ah, Elias," she said cheerfully. "You were out for a late-night stroll yesterday, weren't you? Brave of you in that weather. I saw you from my window, just standing on your walkway for the longest time." Elias's blood ran cold. The confirmation was absolute. He had been inside his house the entire night, locked in his armchair. He had never left. But something wearing his face, his clothes, and his posture had been out there. After that night, Elias was a changed man. The peace he once found in his home was replaced by a constant, gnawing fear. He began to dread mirrors. Catching a glimpse of his own face would send a jolt of panic through him. Windows, once portals to the quiet world outside, became terrifying screens where his double might reappear at any moment. He felt haunted, not by a ghost, but by himself. Elias's experience, as terrifying as it was, is not unique. The phenomenon of the Doppelgänger, a German word meaning double-goer, has been recorded throughout history and across countless cultures. These encounters are not mere ghost stories. They are deeply unsettling experiences reported by sane, credible people. Some cultural beliefs see the Doppelgänger as a harbinger of bad luck or a terrible omen. Others believe it's a malevolent entity seeking to replace the original person to steal their life. More esoteric theories suggest it could be a spiritual echo, an astral projection, or even a glitch in the fabric of our reality, a momentary tear where two timelines overlap. What's remarkably consistent across these accounts are the feelings the witnesses describe. It's not just seeing a look-alike. It's an overwhelming wave of primal fear and bone-deep chill that has nothing to do with the temperature. Many, like Elias, report a feeling of physical paralysis, as if their own will has been hijacked, and universally there is an unshakable sense of dread. The profound and terrifying knowledge that the thing you are looking at is both you and profoundly asterisk, not asterisk you. In the quiet of his now unsettling home, Elias would often whisper the same phrase to himself, a mantra of his new, fractured reality. I saw myself, but it wasn't me. It's a statement that defies logic, but perfectly captures the horror of the doppelganger experience. What do you do when you can no longer trust your own eyes, or even your own face? If this story sent a chill down your spine, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the strange and unexplained. And the next time you catch your reflection in a darkened window, maybe you should watch closely. You never know who might be looking back. Thank you for watching.